Hi guys. So as you can see, Kat's not with me tonight. I know we're all sad. But this is kind of a personal video, and I'm doing this because I kind of enjoy going on YouTube, and I don't generally like look for these kind of videos, but they'll pop up where it's a video about it's something that's kind of heavy subject matter, but people are explaining it because A, it helps others who could be going through the same situation, and B, it lets people know that that's who they are and that's something that's happened to them and that they're accepting it and they're telling their story. So I'm not doing this for attention and I'm not doing this for sympathy because those are the last things I want or need. It's something I'm kind of over, but again, this is a big part of who I am, and it's also something that I seem to have to explain to people a lot because I can't just ignore the fact that I'm adopted on a daily basis when I'm out with my siblings who most all look very different than me. And I'm like, oh, this is my sister. And they're like, oh, really? And I'm like, okay, we're adopted. So that's not something I can ignore. So I hope people aren't like, oh, well, why is she telling this? This is way too much information. I'm telling it because I think it could possibly help someone else, and it also helps me kind of come to terms with what's happened to me. But anyways, I'll jump right in. If I don't have all the details, that's because I don't remember everything, and if I do remember details, some of it may be a little too heavy for this, not what I'm trying to accomplish today, and I don't feel a need to tell all of that stuff. So that's what's going to be going on if I kind of have chunks missing. So I'll start off when I was born. Obviously, I was born, and um, I just don't think my mother was really capable of taking care of me with the circumstances of her life. She wasn't like a teen mom or anything, but just the choices that she had made in her life, she couldn't do it. And so I don't know if I went to into the foster care system right then and there, or if I ended up just with my grandparents right off the bat. But the next thing I remember is being with my grandparents. And my grandma had diabetes pretty bad, that I don't know if she wasn't taking care of herself or if it was just like too bad, but um I don't think she could take care of me and my siblings any longer because I had other siblings there. So it was her and my grandpa, but I just think they were too old, so I ended up in the foster care system. Not sure where I was going, but I was just like, back and forth all the time. And then I ended up with my aunt in Atlanta, and she had a son of her own. So she had a strong connection with him that I could kind of sense, even though I was only like 5 or 6. No, I was probably younger than that. I could just tell that it was different with us. So I just things didn't work out there. So she ended up sending me back here to St. Louis, and I was in foster care again just for a little bit, and I ended up with a really nice family, and they ended up adopting me. So I mean, that was pretty exciting, but again, this is not something I want to give all the details on because I'm not sure who's going to see this, and I'm not trying to upset anybody. But I generally 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 they were older, and I think I was just a handful for them. They did not fully know what they were getting themselves into, because when you're in foster care and had seen and experienced the things I experienced, that's not something you can really walk away from totally unscathed or unharmed. Not unharmed, but like unaffected. So I ended up in foster care again. Somewhere along the lines I ended up in a children's home, which I absolutely hated. It was so bad. Um, I wouldn't wish foster care or a children's home upon my worst enemy. It was pretty bad, and I ended up in one. I don't know what the timeline is right here. I get it's like really fuzzy and all together, but some point I ended up with a really bad family. I think it had to be one of the worst I was with. And I don't know if I had told, I was always in a day camp, I don't know if I told a day camp counselor or what. I guess I did, because I don't know how she would have been able to get me out of the situation. But I told her, I must have told her what was happening to me. And one day, police came and picked me up from camp, and they collected my things, and I was sent back into the foster care system. And I was thankful for it, because I was in a bad situation. But when you, one thing people don't understand about foster care is when you are going back and forth the way I did, even with the worst situations, you just you don't want to go because you're tired of moving. And so I was like, I was thankful, but at the same time I was like, I'm ready to, I don't want to move anymore. But anyways, I ended up having to go to emergency care. And if anyone doesn't know what that is, it's like, if you're in a foster family, if you're in a foster home, they have to have, like, they have to plan that kind of stuff. They plan to take you to this home next, and if something like that, what happened in my situation, happens, and they don't have time to plan to put you in another place, you have to go somewhere overnight or something like that. So you go to a foster family just overnight. It's like very short term. So I went to the family I'm with now, and I believe I must have told them my story, or maybe the social worker told them, I'm not sure. But I think right then and there she had taken interest in me, my mom now. And she was already a foster parent. She was used to kids going in and out, and so she let me go, and I went back into the foster care system, back and forth, and I ended up coming back to them, and I needed to stay like 30 days, or I think it was only supposed to be maybe overnight again. And then from overnight, they're like, oh, can she stay a week? And then from me staying a week, they're like, can she stay for 30 days? And then I just ended up being in foster care with them. And she, like I said, she had already taken interest in me, and so it kind of seemed like that was the plan all along. Not their plan, God's plan. If anyone, I just feel like it was something that was supposed to happen. The fact that I came back, and um, things were hard because, like I said, I had a lot of issues, and I didn't know how to fix them. I just didn't know. I can't believe I'm crying. I didn't know how to fix them, and it was things that I needed to fix in order to be able to be a family, in a family somewhere. But at that point, I was so messed up. I didn't know how to be a part of a family. I hadn't had that before. So they had already had 8. They had adopted 8 kids. They had one of their own, and so they were busy, and they had lots to do. And still, somehow, out of all the families I had been with, they took the time and they made the effort, and it was hard. I'm not saying it was easy, and I mean, there was lots of like heartbreak and all kinds of stuff along the way, but I ended up sitting down with the family and talking it over with everyone and making sure that they were 100% okay with me being adopted. And so the decision was a yes, thank God. And I got adopted when I was 11 years old. And it was probably one of the best days of my life. And it's not the day itself, because I don't think we especially did anything that great that day, but it was the fact that I had finally found a home, a family to call my own. I don't think anyone realizes what that's like, to go your whole life looking for a family and trying to find somebody to love you. I think people can relate to that, because I know there's a lot of situations in people's lives where maybe they're not getting the love they deserve, but there's always family there for most people. And I didn't have it ever. It was so hard. So when I found it, I can't explain how grateful I was. And I still am. I hadn't had a birthday party before I came to this family. I hadn't gone on vacation, and they gave me everything. I hate that I'm crying right now, but I think I hadn't even been there a year. They took me on vacation with them. They gave me birthday parties. And it's just like the little things like that were just incredible to me because I never experienced it before. And I don't know how a family can give love to 9 kids that aren't even theirs. But they're like angels to me, because I don't know where I would be right now if I didn't have them in my life. I might not have everything I want in life, but I have everything I need. And they have provided me with everything. I got a car almost as soon as I got my license. I'm not saying it was the nicest car in the world, but I got something. They enrolled me in dance classes. I had always wanted to dance, act, sing, something in showbiz. They enrolled me in dance classes, and I did that all the way until I graduated high school. Like I said, vacations were a big thing. I had never really been out of St. Louis besides going to Atlanta, and that wasn't like a vacation or anything, obviously, but it was just incredible to me, and it still is. Like, every time I think about it, I just can't believe it. So the real reason for me making this video is I want anyone to know that, like, despite what people look like they're going, what their lives could be, or I might look like I have the perfect life, because a lot of people have told me that throughout high school. They're like, oh, you're rich, you guys get to go on vacations, and you guys get to do this and that. Like, yeah, I have everything I want, but my life was nowhere near perfect. And everyone saw, like, you're so happy, I would have never expected that from you. And that's because it's something I accept, and it's who I am, and it's never really affected me that much. It was hard. I mean, like I said, it did affect me, but like, now that it's over, it's not something I dwell on whatsoever. It bothers me sometimes that I can't reflect on my childhood the way most people can. That's really hard, because I either don't remember, and what I do remember, I just want to block out. And people are telling me about their memories or stuff like that when they were a child, and I can't relate at all. But like I said, ever since I was 11, I've pretty much I've had a great life, and I want people to know that whatever situation you're in, there is hope to get out of it, and it's really what you make of it. So I really hope that this video is inspiration for people, and that if anyone went through the same thing, I want to hear about it. Like, I would love to connect with people who were in similar situations. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is so gross. Yeah, if anyone went through the same situation, I'd like to hear about it, to be honest. I mean, I'm so open about it, so I'm open to sharing my experiences with other people too. And I hope that this wasn't uncomfortable for people. I know I cried, but I hope it wasn't uncomfortable, because, like I said, it is who I am, and it's not something I can help. So if this story makes you uncomfortable, I don't know what to say. And I would like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful, and I hope it was really insightful too. And please subscribe or like and share, and hopefully I can do something to kind of elaborate on this in the future, because I know that this was so vague, but it's really what I was comfortable with for now. Like, I had already started crying. So again, thank you for watching. Bye.